get this party started. So, this is my first attempt at streaming to YouTube. I'm gonna stream myself doing some CAD modeling. I don't know if that'll be very exciting to most people, but this is mostly just an experiment, so we will bear with it. So I started this model earlier. We're gonna switch over to that. We have the chat on the screen if anyone does join and fancies talking to me. But this is where we got up to this morning. So what we have here is a primitive representation of the balcony railings from outside of my back door. In fact, just to give context to this particular stream, let me see if I can find the photo. Let's pull that over here. Not that photo, that was something else I was working on. So if I, come on, there we are. It's taking its sweet time thinking about things. So I have a balcony outside the back of my house. It has a set of railings that are evenly split apart, and the idea, let me just scroll down to where it is. Here we are. Oh, everything is running a wee bit sluggish. It's struggling whilst I do this. Ooh. I think the demands of video streaming and running all these apps is a little bit of a challenge for the old laptop, but let's see if we can't muddle through. Right, here we go. So what we have here is a picture of the balcony outside my house. It's not very wide. It's enough to put a couple of chairs, small table, but what I often feel, particularly if we have parties and we open this space up, is that I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for people to leave stuff on the top handrail, but I would like to be able to put places where maybe you can put a cup down, put a mug down or something. So I wanted to come up with a sort of a standard way to clamp to these rails so that I could make various attachments that would allow me to mount stuff against this. So this is where we got this representation, and this morning I got this far. So the design here, I did one of these funky things, is that it is hinged. It's a two-part hinged item. So the idea is you'll be able to feed this through around the bars. It'll hinge on this side, then you can close it, and then I'll probably just use some standard hardware to screw it, clamp it closed at that side. And then this section I created just a structure here with some holes in it that I'm thinking I will bolt against. Now there's a few things I need to do to follow up on this. I think the print tolerances I could do with making some gaps between the pins of the two halves of this. So if I get rid of the front bracket, you can see that the back bracket has 2 and the front bracket has 2, but there's going to need to be some gaps in here. So what we'll do first is just choose this surface and no, come on, I want to get rid of you, and let's do this. So let's back this up by just 0.5 mil, I guess, and we'll do the same on this surface. Back it up by 0.5 mil. So we should have, oh no, I said back it up, but that's not what I did. Minus 0.5, please. And let's do the same on this surface. Minus 0.5. So that hopefully will just give enough, there we are, enough of a gap that those pieces will actually fit together. So something else I have just thought about is that the interface of these two parts is gonna be slightly wrong because I set them as a cylinder, so I need yeah, that's interesting. I need to cut away from this part of the hinge where the opposite side touches, because otherwise that's not going to work. Okay, so what I can probably do in theory is just do a combine. Let's take this guy and use you as a cutting tool. We'll do a cut. We'll keep the tool. So just to check, that should just carve out a little section on that. I don't think there's any other overlapping points. And do that. Okay, now if I make you invisible, what we should have now is, and actually I'm going to get rid of the railings themselves for the moment. That did not work. That's interesting. Did I do it the other way around? Huh. That is not what I wanted. So let's see. Oh no, it right, yes. Interesting. I think that so what I intended to happen was that there would be a chunk taken out of this in an arc. What it's actually done is take a chunk out of that. I think I just selected those the wrong way around. Let me have a look at what I did. So yeah, what did I guess that's the thing. I wanted the best of both worlds. What is the intersection point? So that is, so I should lose. I think the problem is that the overlap runs both ways. Okay, I'm going to do this a different way. Let's forget that fella. And instead, because I'm going to want a little bit of grace anyway, yeah, so let's sketch onto this plane. Let's have an arc. 3-point arc will do. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. We'll just do that. Marvelous. And then what I should be able to do is take that selection and back him up to about, so each of these segments is 25 mil, oh no, minus 25, minus the, okay, that's more like it, except I can see the, there we are. So, except I seem to have, I cut out both. Didn't want to cut out both. Let's, I want to get rid of the front bracket when I'm doing that, or no, get rid of the back bracket when I'm doing that. That's more like it. So, rinse, repeat, zipped down the sides. So, what's the best way? What's the best way to do that? Further down. Sketches. Let's have that sketch again. I'm going to extrude this guy 25. I'm going to make him his own thing. So that's the profile I want. Then I can move him up. Move him up underneath his other guy there. It's interesting. So I should just be able to get you lined up. Like that. Okay. And now I want to do another combine, where we take this guy and we take this guy and cut out. I left myself with a tool, so there we are, that's more like it. And now I need to do the same thing on the other side for the other pins. Exciting stuff, riveting television. So if we do this, then right, so I want to sketch onto this plane this time, do the same thing with the arc, take a 3-point arc, give ourselves a little bit of room, that'll do. Well, so this time I want to get rid of is it that one? No, I want to get rid of that one. Excellent. Bom bom bom. Let's cut you all the way to, oh, not too far, all the way to there. And then we'll switch that sketch back on, and we'll create ourselves a 25mm new body, and we'll move him into place between these guys. Just like this. One more. Okay. And we'll cut you as well. Modify, combine, take him and him. Let's not bother keeping the tool. You're done. I might just push these out a wee smidge. Minus 0.5 and minus 0.5. Okay, so that looks more like it when I switch. Go to the sketches and put you back on. Let's rotate you out of the way a little bit. So I still have notches in that side, which was not my intention. When did I cause that? I don't have notches in that side, do I? So you are in the front piece. It's like that you came out when I thought I had you switched off when I did that. Let's come back to you. Is that right? Oh, or was that? So yeah, you should have been. Okay, I'm just gonna. What I'll do is I will get rid of the back bracket, and I will fill you back in on the pins. Oh, except your. Yeah, I don't want that. Don't do that. Why? You are how you got cut out, but you are not what I want. I'm gonna do that. Come on. It's a wee bit rough running. Come on, come on, give me the thing. No, not that thing. I want that guy, not that guy. Let me get rid of. Oh, I wish this performed better. That would be good. The selection, that's more like it. Okay, and he wants to go -25. Just check that that's all good. Yep, join, thank you. And let's do the same repair job down here. Bum, bum, bum. We'll just create another. Do that. We'll take you down -25. Ooh, I have somebody in the chat. Chilster Deluxe. Hey, Chilster. I don't know whether what I'm doing is in any way followable or interesting, but thanks for checking in. Let's just switch things back on, and I think we have a complete picture. So this is our object. We've got a little hinge created here and a pin, so that should hopefully be a somewhat operable hinge now, and it's sort of printable. I was hoping to try and avoid having to have any kind of supports in this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that for the hinge pieces. I think I may actually just have to have supports there, but with any luck we can keep it to a minimum. So with that in place, I I think the main thing now is to figure out how I will bolt any structure to this. So I had this idea of these like wine glass holder dishes that would potentially be a first test run, and so I basically just need to extend this plate over to here with some holes and then figure out how I'm going to bolt things. I kind of want to put some hex recesses at the bottom of this for some nuts. So I think the idea will be that they that they will be just something that I bolt together. Tricky thoughts. Do I put hex recesses at the bottom, or do I just accept that I will screw things in? Let's have a look at doing that. We'll just save where we are. How are we doing for time? 20 to 6. It's nearly beer o'clock, people. Nearly beer o'clock. Let's try and get the hexes done. Now, do I have... what diameter did I make these holes earlier? Oh, yeah, it's probably easier to select this from the top. I made them 6mm. So I want an M6 nut would be good. Let's just see how we get on. Any suggestions on a nice easy way to do an M6 nut? I mean, I guess basically I just need to sketch a polygon on this surface. Let's do an inscribed polygon on this surface. Actually, do I want inscribed or do I want exscribed? Circumscribed, that's what I want. So that's my point. No, let's try selecting the center point. Bum bum bum, let's try that again. Circumscribed polygon. So is that enough? How big? How big is an M6 nut? Anybody? Anybody? I feel like it's gonna be at least like that. Let me just look that up. M6 nut dimensions. Show me. I just want a picture. Come on. That's what I want. Come on, AliExpress. To the save the day. Man, this thing really does crawl when I'm trying to stream at the same time. So when the that's a really terrible picture. So the outside, that's what I want. 10 point to point. That makes sense. So that would make that 5. Marvelous. Do I want to do anything about aligning that? Probably. But does it matter? Does it matter? Not really. Not really. Okay, so we're just gonna give ourselves a 10 deep new body. You look like the cutout piece. So let me just ditch these from the view for a second. We will drop you to here. That looks about right. And we'll use you to cut out. Combine you with you. We'll have a cut. We'll keep the tool. Job done. And then let's just move him across. and try and get him lined up. Come on. Oh, come on. What did I do for the measurements for that earlier? That was a terrible move. 37.5. Okay, we'll do that side first. Fine. And I'm going to have to extend him a little bit to cut out all I want. No, go away. Let's bring you all the way. That'll do. And we'll cut him out again. And keep the tool once more. And then last but not least, we'll move you to this side. Are you aligned? No, you're not. I guess you're 75. Yep. And once again, I probably could have done this much faster if I'd thought about it a different way, but what the hell. Get rid of you. So we've got recesses for nuts, holes. I don't know that that's going to print that well, but that should probably do the business. Let's have a quick look at what that looks like. If I export this as an STL, I'm going to go look in Slicer and see what it looks like when I new model balcony bracket. Front bracket STL, boom. So let's have a look at what we do with this. Let's just get rid of that. Oh, yeah, this is what I was working on last. Checked my Instagram feed, you'll have seen I was playing with new vacuum part mounts. Let's get rid of that guy for the moment and import our new model. Balcony bracket. So that's what he looks like. Let's just slice him with the same settings I was just using and see what happens. I'm particularly curious to see whether any of these sweeps are going to protect me from having just acres and acres of... Okay, that's... So here we go. We're going to have loads of support material. Right, because of course I need to support the underside of those hex inserts because they are complete flat overhangs. Okay, but that's not the end of the world. That's not so bad. We have relatively small amounts there. So that would be that. So I could probably, in fact, let's export that G code and see how long. I don't know why, if anyone watches this to this point and can tell me why Slicer doesn't know how long it's going to take until after it exports the G code. I would have thought that as soon as it's calculated all the layers, it knows how long. 5 hours. Not too bad. Now, question, is it worth printing the front and the back at the same time? Certainly not superposed in their hinge positions. I think that will cause problems. Okay. Let's delete that. Let's come back to Fusion. Let's export the back. Actually, now, so the back piece has got quite a lot of material here, which we can probably do without as well. Like, do I really need this whole thing to be solid? I don't think so. what shall we do? What shall we do with that big swathe of nothing? Now I don't want to make it hard for the slicer to print, but I could probably put a big old hexagon in the back and just cut out a lot of material without compromising things. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. Let's quickly, we'll just do another. Does it mean, doesn't matter, inscribed? So not really. Let's just do you and see if we can pick up, oh, this is the surface I want us to go on. Let's see if I can pick up the center point. So that's, come on, that's the center point. And can I, there we are, that's the center point. So the key here is that I want the points to be north-south. That's probably good enough. And if I drop that through there, take out a big chunk of material, but hopefully those angles are enough that the printer will be able to cope without having to have supports for that structure. Let's find out. Back. I don't know why I call it piece in there. Bracket. Right, so back into Slicer. Let's open him up. Back bracket. And he looks like that. So he's definitely going to need support material up here, but with any luck, that's the only place. Oh, and I guess right out the tip here, because that's what we had last time. It's gonna process. Bum, bum. That's what I want. It's just me and myself and I. Yeah, look at that. No support required in the middle. Let's export that fella and see how long he's gonna take, and then we're probably at beer o'clock. I'll worry about how I'm gonna mount things to this on, so that's only 4 hours 40 minutes. What a bargain. If I start this one going now, I might be able to start the other one going overnight. That would be pretty epic. And then, yep, separately I can figure out how to just stick a plate against that. That, I think, is a great place to leave this off. We've got our pattern in place, we've fixed up our hinge, and I think we have something that looks plausibly like it is printable and will work. So that being said, I don't know if anyone's going to watch this after the fact. It was probably very, very boring, but that was me doing a bunch of CAD modeling. I'm probably going to do a bunch of these going forward because it's a good excuse to make me focus on CAD modeling rather than having YouTube videos distracting me. I would like those YouTube videos to distract you instead. So that being said, I think we're done. If you have been watching, thank you. Drop comments. You can find me on Instagram, Make a Geek, Twitter, Make a Geek. If there's anything you want me to particularly talk more about when I'm modeling, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I'm happy to try and help if I can. So thanks for watching. See you next time.